Dynamic Brothers.
Hey guys, welcome back to Super Dynamic Bros. I'm Michael Sarabona.
I'm Isaiah Amaro.
And today, in honor of the glorious Thor Ragnarok that just came out in theaters, today we are going to be ranking from worst to best the MCU movies, the Marvel Cinematic movies.
From 2007 to 2017. Oh,
2008, yeah. So pretty much in a span of 9 years, it's going to be 10 years next year, there's been 17 of these movies. So we're going to go down the list, just quickly give our brief thoughts on them, explain why they're where they are. So here we go, guys. Coming in at number 17, if anyone can tell me what this one was about, I'll pay you $1. Thor: The Dark World. This was just a really bland movie for me.
The story alone, it wasn't like, it's hard to to see it the first time and fully understand it. Even myself, I've seen it maybe 3 times at most, and I still don't really understand what's going on. Why the ether's there? I mean, Odin put it in Earth, but why is there like portal holes everywhere? To this day, I still don't remember why everything was there.
I think if this movie was more, because I think the problem with the first couple of Thor movies, what happened was that they really just kept going back to Earth way too much.
I think they were too scared to try something out in space until Guardians came out. They're like, oh, yeah, we could do that now for Thor.
But yeah, and this one, Hemsworth is still great, Loki's still great, but just the story itself, it's just a really bland and just kind of boring Marvel movie. So, not really that great. What's at number 16?
At number 16, we have the last Iron Man movie, which is Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I have to say, there's a lot of people that love this movie, a lot of people that hate this movie. I am not in the department that loves this movie just because of if you've seen the movie, you know the twist in the end, where who we thought was the Mandarin the entire time is not the Mandarin, and it really ruins the movie for me.
It kind of does, especially with a character like the Mandarin. He's all magic based. You expect him to be like a Doctor Strange type villain.
Yeah, not some British actor that was just paid to look like a terrorist,
or even
just for some, I don't even remember what reason.
A scientist who claimed quote unquote the Mandarin.
No, yeah, once was the
Marvel one shots.
No. I'm saying once was Audrey Killian?
Yeah, Killian
was the name. Once he said I'm the Mandarin, yeah, that ruined the movie. And once Gwyneth Paltrow became all super powered, I'm like,
yeah, it's not to my liking, no.
And even then, this is an Iron Man. This is an Iron Man movie, right? What you get 10 minutes of Iron Man?
Basically,
that's it. And most of the time he's without the suit. And
throughout the whole time, he could have just do the cleanup protocol and just clear out all the suits.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He waited to the very end. He's like, you know what? I'm kind of stuck right now.
Well, it doesn't even matter because they completely discontinued that storyline when Avengers 2 came out. So at number 15, Iron Man 2. This was another really kind of disappointing sequel for me.
It's kind of, because I like Mickey Rourke. I like
Mickey Rourke too.
I like the villain. I understood his backstory and stuff too, and his revenge plot. I'm like, okay, it's just they executed it poorly.
It just felt I don't know. It felt rushed. It felt a lot of the movie kind of tried to set up too much of the Avengers at one point. It's kind of they kind of did what BVS did, which was let's set up the Justice League stuff and then we'll get back to our story. But it's just I don't know. There's really Robert Downey Jr. of course he's great in the movie.
Yeah.
He's reason to watch it, but
it was an introduction to Scarlett Johansson. She was good.
That was a good positive though. Yeah.
Yeah. Black
Widow was in there. Other than that, there's really nothing really much memorable about the movie. I do think that Sam Rockwell's character, Justin Hammer,
was
great, and they should bring him back for something else.
They kind of did a little bit with Luke Cage.
Yeah, but they brought his company back. But like,
yeah, but
I want to
see.
see.
The first time we seen his company in a while, though. That's the thing. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's been. What?
It was cool to have that callback, but I want to see Sam Rockwell being something else in these movies.
Yeah, the last time we saw him was in the Marvel one shots.
Which one shot was he in?
He was the one where the Mandarin.
He was there?
He was in the prison.
He was in the prison.
He was in the prison. That's when we figured out that the Mandarin is actually still out there in real, which they'll never use because they ruined it.
I really hope they bring back those one shots because those are actually pretty fun.
I was hoping, they did that with like Spiderman Homecoming or at least bring it back.
Bring those back. So those were actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So coming at number 14 is going to be the first Thor movie.
Again, another one. It was something different. Because now we're getting into gods and stuff with the whole in the MCU.
I enjoy this movie. I enjoy the whole Shakespearean aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit the brother versus brother. I think this was the first one that had a great villain because up until that point in the MCU, not that memorable villains were there.
The only problem is though, like this is your first Thor movie, and you're gonna have him in the beginning or majority of the beginning to the middle of the movie, almost close to the end with no powers.
Yeah.
No hammer.
Yeah, this was him. He had to learn his lesson, but there's not much Thor going on in Thor.
Except for the beginning of the movie, which was a badass intro.
The
fighting the Frost Giants. There we go. It's a battle at the end when he was fighting the
Destroyer.
The Destroyer.
That scene is actually pretty cool. Like I get the message behind Thor. I enjoyed this movie. It
just could have been.
It could have been something more.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what's coming in at number 13?
At number 13, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
This was, I think. This was a good movie.
It's hard when the first one is like really great.
The first one is fantastic. I think this one is just good. Like, more and more I kind of watch this one, the more and more like there's really no stakes that I was really invested in like I was in the first one. Like I think this one is just, it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
The music's great, but the storyline is super freaking predictable.
Basically, yeah.
Like I'm sorry, I called the fact that Ego was gonna be the main villain like when he first showed up. Like I was like, oh, he's gonna be the bad guy.
You know what problem is too? Like when the first one, like when Nova was about to get destroyed and everybody else around it.
Yeah, Xandar and stuff. Yeah.
Xandar, yeah, basically.
That whole fine, yeah.
And now you just go into a fight on, and basically inside Ego.
Igor is something completely different.
Yeah. Same monster.
Pretty much.
So where like that. So now like I understand what you're saying. The stakes of it is like not
it's just
so much.
There's not that much stakes to it, and like I kind of just did not really care about Star-Lord wanting to find his dad.
Yeah, I feel like now all of a sudden now you want to talk about your dad and not the first movie.
Yeah, he doesn't mention his dad at all in the first movie except for like one sentence in the end.
Yeah. This is one of those type of things where it's like, okay, now we're talking about it. Now we have to go see it. Like if we would have talked about it maybe a little bit in the first movie, and like, okay, now we'll bring it back to.
And also, wasn't the fact of the first movie, the team, like, coming together and learning how to become a family?
Yeah.
But in the second one, they're still trying to do the same thing apparently, because they're all having problems with each other. Like especially like with Rocket and Star-Lord in the beginning.
Well, it's only 6 months since the first movie.
I know, but I'm saying, like, the whole point of the first one was, like, alright, they meet up, they have issues with each other, but in the end, they're together and they're a family and they're a team.
Supposedly the third one is going to be more, because it's going to be a couple of years later, like 6 years later.
That's fine.
So now they're going to be more of a unit.
Alright, good. That's what I kind of wanted them to be in this one, but...
Yeah, but it was still a good movie, all in all.
Yeah, from here on, we're in the good stuff of the MCU.
Alright, so like at number 12, we have The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk.
The best Hulk movie out of the two.
There's only one Hulk movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was one where he was like a giant frog.
I never seen it.
He was jumping from like
Don't know what that
continent
is.
to continent.
Was he jumping on maps?
It basically looked like he looked like cartoon, but yeah.
He's not Indiana Jones. He can't do that. But yeah, Incredible Hulk. This was not the one with Mark Ruffalo. This was Edward Norton's one and only Hulk movie.
Still counts.
Yeah, it's MCU. Tony Stark shows up in the end.
Yeah.
But this is actually a very good Hulk movie. This is what I kind of wanted the one that you were talking about before to be, and it was not at all.
No, but this one was well written.
Yeah.
It was good plot point. It took us to different places other than the United States. Took us to I think it was Brazil.
We were in Brazil for the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and then we went to I think it was Mexico afterwards, and then that's when he came back to.
When he's walking like with like no clothes on, they're playing the song that's from the Incredible Hulk show.
Yeah.
Like the Walking the Lonely Road song.
Yeah.
I thought that was like this is pretty much what the Incredible Hulk show was, but now it's a movie, which is pretty fun. And you got to see Hulk fight another monster, which
basically
you did not really get that in the other one. So
no, I mean.
Nope, I'm still not counting that.
Okay, then we're not counting. Okay, so he fights Abomination in Harlem, which was a badass scene.
That was a really badass scene.
The scene before that too, where it was at the school.
Yeah,
when he jumped out of the
fighting all the soldier stuff. Like this was kind of like what you wanted to see the Hulk do. And I think there should be another they should have another standalone Hulk movie, but who knows when we're ever gonna get that. But
and even then too, if we do watch it, will it be like another? Out of the whole movie, Hulk's only there for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I don't want. If I'm watching Hulk, I want the Hulk. I don't want just like 20 minutes of the Hulk.
Yeah, I would like to see a smart Hulk, like how they do now with Hulk, but...
Yeah. So, coming in at number 11 is going to be Captain America, the First Avenger.
I thought it was good. I don't know, I can see why people, when they compare this one to like the other Cap movies, I would like to sound like this. This is an origin movie. I don't expect him to be badass with the shield.
This was. I thought it was a genius move to put in World War II.
Correct.
For the entire movie, actually, the entire movie's in World War II. So, I thought that was a genius move. It was cool to have a period piece Marvel movie. I think looking back now, Chris Evans, I can't really see anybody else playing Cap.
No.
Like even in the first movie, he really established himself as he's in my mind. When I think of Captain America, I think of Chris Evans.
Yeah, he really sold Cap to where, because Cap, when you look at Cap, he's like a Boy Scout, goody, by the rules.
He's Marvel's Superman.
And
the Boy
you
Scout
made him likable. You made him because nobody's like that, but yet we could still follow him. We could still learn from, agree with him, side with him.
And to be honest, because of this movie, this is why my favorite MCU character is Captain America. That's why I'm Team Cap for all time. And it was really because of this movie, because his likability, the only reason why he joined the war, the only reason why he did all this stuff, he wants to stand up against bullies, and he finds, and the Nazis were the ultimate bullies.
Yeah, this is a great learning experience for this movie, where if you're not that strong, you're faced against a lot of odds against characters like bigger people like that or smarter people, whatever. If you think you could do it, you can still do it. And Cap did it.
Yeah, and I think the only reason why I would put it at this low on the list is because I do think, Red Skull was a weak villain.
Yeah, he could have done more.
Yeah, and also the fact that majority of the action scene in this movie were kind of montages in the middle.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wish we got a little bit more of that kind of fleshed out, and really kind of him interacting with his team, because he had the Howling Commandos.
Correct.
I thought that was awesome, but
the only time we actually really seen him in action was on a TV show.
Yeah, it wasn't even in his movie, so I really kind of wanted to see them more, and I don't think we're ever gonna get that again.
No, we're never gonna see the Howling Commandos again, which is sad.
Yeah, because where's Cap now? Present day. So that's why I would have kind of put this as low on the list as where it is.
Correct. So at number 10 we have Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Do you remember the trailers for this movie?
Somewhat, yeah.
Remember how how it really gave you this dark feeling?
It's supposed to be a dark movie, yeah.
You really felt like Ultron was gonna be like this dark, menacing kind of villain.
Mm-hmm. I expect people to die in this one.
Yeah, we didn't really get that. We got a really kind of like, just a really safe Marvel movie.
And you know the sad part about this one too, when this one came out, that was when they did the whole timeline and stuff, so you know there was no risk. Cause yeah, you see, okay, Cap is gonna get another movie.
Oh yeah, when they released all
Infinity
their
War is coming out, I was like, okay, so we're just gonna forget about this movie.
That's why I kept thinking like, all right, so who's gonna die?
Nobody.
Well, Quicksilver dies. Yeah, but did anyone care about him?
No, he was one of those where he just came in, he just left. If you would have gave me like Rhodey. If you would have died in this one, then I'm like, okay, cool.
I feel something. I honestly thought Hawkeye was gonna die.
I think that was the plan to trick you, which I kind of figured out too. So they're showing a little too much of him. I think they want to try to do a fake cop out, which they did, and I like the origin story. I'm like, I felt like it was a little out of place, but then when thinking about it, that's the only place you're really gonna see Hawkeye in these movies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like the movie's good. The movie's, good, but I just feel like Ultron was okay, but that's
badass as Loki though.
No, he's not as good as Loki, and I don't know. It's just like I feel like it was literally just a rehash of the first Avengers. Yeah. Literally the last half, the final act of the movie is the same thing as Avengers 1, just done with robots.
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't feel like characters didn't really evolve, the story didn't really escalated more than what Avengers did. I feel like they just played it safe and did the exact same thing because it made the exact same $1 billion.
Yeah, it's an okay movie. I think when we talk about another movie on our list, that they did what Avengers Age of Ultron should have done.
Correct.
But we'll get to that one later. So coming in at number 9, we're entering the more mystic realm now. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was a great movie. It was a different movie. I felt like it was like the inception of Marvel.
It brought in that magic flavor that we haven't seen yet.
No, we haven't had magic based anything yet.
Because when they explain magic in Thor, they really kind of explain it as science.
Basically, like other galaxy, other planets is science.
Yeah. But in Doctor Strange, now we're actually getting into the mystic arts and
dark art. Yeah, demons and all that stuff do exist.
And it's finally because Doctor Strange is not really a character in the comics that I know so much about. He's not one of those guys that I always followed.
Yeah.
But I felt like from this movie, I learned so much about Doctor Strange, and I really it got me I was invested the entire time. I was super interested in it, and Benedict Cumberbatch was just perfectly cast.
Honestly, yeah, I honestly do not see anybody else cast for this role, even though probably Joaquin Phoenix auditioned for every single other role excluding this one.
Well, you know what? Whatever.
But yeah, no, but he did it perfectly. The storyline was good. Even the characters, the Ancient One, she was great.
She was great. Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah.
He was great. The guy who plays Wong.
Wong was good, yeah.
He was hilarious. Glad he's coming back from Infinity War, so.
Yeah, I saw the set photos for him.
But no, yeah, this is a really it's a really good origin story, even if it's kind of a little bit like the Iron Man origin story.
A little bit, but
it's a little bit,
more visually, of course, is 100% different.
This was the only probably the best movie I've seen in 3D.
Yeah.
In ever, I think.
Well, they used the hell out of it.
No,
that
this
CGI was used great in this movie.
It was the definition of a movie to see in 3D. I thought the 3D was fantastic.
Correct.
Yeah. So at number 8, Ant-Man.
Great origin story.
Honestly, one of the funniest of the Marvel movies.
I'm kind of glad they did the Scott Lang version instead of doing the origins of Hank Pym.
That would have gone a little dark.
Him creating the suit, his wife beating her, and then
him becoming alcoholic and creating Ultron, which they didn't do that, but I'm glad. I'm glad they didn't.
Nah, but I like this story was okay. There already was an Ant-Man. Now this is a new Ant-Man. So you can skip all this. How did he create the suit? How did he create this? Drunk this? All that? Why he did this? And now we're just moving the torch over.
Honestly, and it was really different compared to all the other Marvel movies because this you can look at Ant-Man as like a heist movie. It's a really good heist movie, and there's really like it's much smaller scale, like because the world's not ending in Ant-Man.
No.
And it was I kind of like that.
But I feel like this was more of a homey type, like home based movie.
Yeah.
Where like it had a personal problem and it took care of its personal problem. It wasn't like, oh, Canada is being under attack, let's go save someone else's backyard.
Or aliens are invading from a portal up in the sky.
Basically, yeah.
No, this is just pretty much the story is about a man just trying to reconnect with his daughter.
Basically, yeah, try to relive, like try to make new life after prison.
Yeah, and I think Paul Rudd. I mean, that's the great thing about these Marvel movies. They can get guys like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Make him to a superhero.
They took Robert Downey Jr.
Made him to a superhero.
And made him to a superstar.
They brought his career back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Ant-Man, it's a ton of fun. Like, it really is. What's at number 7?
At number 7, we have the original, the first Guardians of the Galaxy. There's no way to say it.
I'm trying to think, like, it's such a fantastic movie. Like, it is such... it was so different from what the MCU was doing to that point. Was nothing like Guardians was something we had not seen before.
This movie alone took place majority. I would like to say a good 90% of that movie, 95% of that movie was out of Earth.
The only part that was on Earth was the beginning.
Just the beginning, just to show you the origins of Peter. Other than that, everything was in space, different planets. Everything was on a ship. Yeah. And this is something we haven't seen in the MCU.
It felt like a trippy. It was a trippy Star Wars.
Basically, it was a space opera.
Space opera.
It was Marvel's first space opera, and they did it perfectly.
And it was it was kind of the first time where you saw a Marvel movie that can be really goofy and serious at the same time, which is really kind of their format now. But I mean, it brought us like, because 90% of the population probably doesn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy was before this movie came out.
And not even these weren't even the original Guardians of the Galaxy. These were
the
edition.
Yeah. These were probably more well known than the old ones, but I mean, this movie had a talking raccoon and a talking tree, and I bought the entire thing.
Honestly, they didn't even think the talking tree was so good, but
it's become the most popular character right now.
They were trying to sell a Rocket for kids, but no, Groot. And that's another thing too. These characters, I felt like it was so randomly. Like when you got Chris Pratt,
Dave Bautista,
Vin Diesel,
Bradley Cooper,
as a raccoon in a tree.
I'll just say Zoe Saldana because she's in it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just this like crazy group of misfits coming together, being a team. This is what Suicide Squad should have been, but failed to be so hard. And I do gotta say, Guardians of the Galaxy still has one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Yeah, you could, and it matched it perfectly too. Every single scene, everything kind of flowed. Like they made the scene from that song. Like, hey, pick a song, I would make a scene from it.
Yeah, the soundtrack was a character itself, which I thought was the perfect way to put it in the movie.
And from beginning to end, ending with the tearjerker. Yeah. Perfectly.
Yeah, and I think this is the really kind of the one that really sets up in Infinity War.
Yes.
This is where they kind of like really like, and the Infinity Stone was kind of like the main thing to get. So it was a good setup for Infinity War.
Correct.
So what's at number 6?
Number 6, we have Spiderman Homecoming.
Welcome home, Spider-Man. We have missed you.
The first movie for the MCU, first Marvel-owned movie that's Marvel written and directed, not Sony.
Yeah, I mean, they had the whole Sony deal, but this is a Marvel movie.
This is a straight Marvel movie. Sony just did the same thing like what Universal did with Hulk. They just sit back and they collect the check.
And honestly, like, this was probably, this was the Spider-Man that we all, after the Andrew Garfield movies that were awful. I'm sorry, but they're just bad.
Even after Spider-Man 3.
I'll say Spider-Man 3, yeah, that's bad. I think up to that point, the only good Spider-Man movies for me were for the first two Tobey Maguire movies. But
yeah,
I think Tom Holland is definitely the Spider-Man that we need right now.
Young. You could say, first off, young.
No, he's
way
young. He looks like he should be in high school.
Correct.
Actually, all the kids that are in this movie look like they belong in high school, which is pretty refreshing.
Yes. When you hire someone who's early 20s, they could look like that for at least another good 5-6 years, where you could make the whole trilogy in high school if you want to.
And I feel like we're gonna, like, as Tom Holland grows up with the character, we're, you know, kind of like we're watching how he starts off as this young kid up into whatever his last movie is going to be as like a grown adult playing Spider-Man. I think we're going to be highly more invested in the character by doing so.
Like Harry Potter.
Just like Harry Potter.
Just like Harry Potter. You care for them. You have memories. Their memories from watching the previous movies. But you're like, I remember that scene. I remember that moment.
And honestly, like, it was kind of like how I felt with Ant-Man. It's a smaller scale movie. There's no world-ending epidemic that's happening. No, it's just him trying to fight Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Yeah, you went from Queens to Washington to the pier.
Back to Queens, pretty much.
Back to Queens,
basically.
basically.
Back to Queens. But no, and it's just like it's a really good feel-good movie. I did not need an origin story. Did not need to see Uncle Ben dying again.
For the third time.
Like, this is exactly what we kind of needed.
And it was a great villain. Great villain. Michael Keaton was a great villain.
Honestly, that's because, you know, when you hire Michael Keaton,
you're paying the big bucks for him.
You know, you're getting quality there. When you're hiring Batman, you're getting quality. So,
what's number 5? Top 5.
Number 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. This is the top 5, guys. These are the best of the best. At number 5, we got to go with the movie that started it all. That started the MCU. Where the Avengers Initiative really started, you know? Iron Man.
The Iron Man.
The Iron Man. The movie that brought Robert Downey Jr. back into the picture. Brought Marvel movies back into the picture.
Nobody knew how big this movie was going to be. Marvel didn't even know how. This was before the MCU even started. It was like, you know what, let's just make a Marvel movie.
MCU wasn't, the whole universe wasn't even like a thought in the back of their head.
No, and Iron Man alone at that time was not as popular.
No.
Like, no one really, like, kids these days did not want to dress up as Iron Man. Kids that days did not. There was really no cartoon out really on Disney.
No. People knew Spider-Man the Hulk. They did not know Iron Man.
Correct.
They didn't.
Like, when you think of Marvel, they were thinking of those, or X-Men.
Yeah, people know X-Men. People did not know Iron Man, and I think because of this movie, now Iron Man is like when you think of Marvel, you think of Iron Man.
To this day, kids are still dressing up as this for Halloween.
And to this day, like Robert Downey Jr. playing this character for 10 years, it's still as refreshing as it was in his first movie. And I think that Iron Man is the perfect formula for an origin story. He's got a character arc.
Mm-hmm.
You get really invested in him in it. You
see before his way of thinking, his acting, and then the accident that did happen, and then now you see him afterwards. Like, oh, I need to wake up and start saving people.
Yeah, and it's a truly a heroic, heroic movie. And honestly, we wouldn't have the MCU without this movie. And and it still holds up as to be one of the best Marvel movies that's ever made.
Correctamundo.
Yep. So what's coming out at number 4?
At number 4, we have one of the best 180 sequels of all time. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
This was
fucking day and night in this movie.
This was one of the best sequels to a superhero movie, other than The Dark Knight. This is one of the best.
This is definitely one of those where if you didn't know who the directors were, you'd be like, wow, I think these new director. There's a new director for this movie because this movie is completely different.
The directors for this movie were the guys that made Community and Arrested Development.
And they made one hell of a movie.
They made probably one of, and I think the great part about it is that not only did they make just a great Captain America sequel, they made like a freaking great like spy thriller, you know?
Correct.
So that's really what the tone of this movie was.
This doesn't even have to be a superhero movie. You could even said this was a regular based movie. Storyline alone, this was perfect from beginning to end.
And it's like this also included one of probably the biggest twists in the MCU. And yeah, I'm gonna spoil it. The fact that Hydra was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. the entire time. I did not expect that.
No, and this movie alone just kind of made changes to everything from the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to future Marvel movies. This is it. This changed everything around.
This really did change the MCU. Like, this movie's crazy. This movie is what I needed of a Captain America movie to be.
And it did perfectly.
Yeah, it took itself completely seriously, and I love every moment. It's like a Jason Bourne superhero movie.
Yeah, the way he uses his fighting styles, he's using his shield perfectly in this one.
Fight scenes in this movie are insanely choreographed.
Like, they listened to everybody from the first movie, like all the cons and stuff, and he just fixed everything.
Yeah, honestly, one of the best.
So what is top 3?
So coming in at number 3. This one literally just came out just a day ago.
Fresh in our minds.
Fresh in our minds. I've seen it twice. Thor Ragnarok.
Again, another 180 movie that completely changed everything from his previous movies.
Honestly, if you didn't take if you didn't like the first 2 Thor movies,
you didn't even see the first 2 Thor movies.
Guess what? Yeah, you know what? You don't even need to see the first 2 Thor movies, because this movie is insanely amazing. Like, I cannot even describe to you just how freaking fresh, hilarious, action-packed, just crazy movie that this was.
Like we said before in our reviews, this is what Thor should have been. This is what the first movie, its style, its feel, the emotion in this movie, this is what it should the first movie be. I feel like the director let everybody have fun, let everybody relax, enjoy themselves. They let Chris Hemsworth be Chris Hemsworth, like, just do you. They looked at Goldblum and told Goldblum, listen, do you.
Jeff Goldblum played himself, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Like, I didn't want a serious Jeff Goldblum. I wanted...
You don't want a serious Jeff Goldblum. Never.
I hope the next Jurassic Park movie, like, they just have Jeff Goldblum.
Just let him say whatever about chaos theory, and I'm
just
perked, so my ears are perked up and I'm listening. Like, in this movie is insanely great. It blends the Planet Hulk and Ragnarok storyline just perfectly together. Like, guys, you need to check this movie out. This is definitely, not only is it in like the top 3 of like MCU movies, this is definitely going to be somewhere in the top 10 of like superhero movies of all time for me.
Correct. Maybe even top 10, top 5 funniest movies.
Honestly, this movie
the
is
jokes
hysterical.
alone, like, I don't know, I'm lost for words right now.
It's so good we're lost for words, guys. So, our final 2, this was a big toss-up, a big...
Took us a while to figure this one out,
big debate, but we have to put at number 2, the first Avengers 1.
Now, this movie alone did change movie history. Showed you that, hey, like, these cinematic universes it does work. If you do this formula, you will make these billion-dollar movies.
And I think, like, look, Avengers, if someone told me, hey, you have to make a movie with 6 superheroes coming together, you know, from big franchises already established, I'm like, my mind is like blowing up, because I would not know how to do it. But they figure it out somehow to make this perfect ensemble movie that gives you everything that you wanted from the other previous, like what you wanted from the Iron Man, what you wanted from Cap, what you wanted from Thor, Hulk. You know, they even gave you, introduced really Hawkeye, because you see him for like 2 seconds in Thor, but this is really where you get introduced to Hawkeye. Like,
sure. And with this movie too, like you said, you already introduced these characters before. So now let's say you coming into this movie with your fan favorite, with your I'm a Thor fan. I'm a Hulk fan. I'm a Captain America fan. And you're watching these movies and stuff too, and you're seeing them interact. You're seeing them you're not wasting time trying to tell these stories. Like, oh, let me just do a quick introduction of who Captain America is. Let me do a quick, like, you already know these characters. They expect you when you walk in. Like, you know these characters already.
When you walk in, you've had to see all 6 of those movies that came out beforehand.
Correct. Some people didn't, but to those who did, this movie meant a lot for them. To me, when I watched this movie, not even alone, when the trailer came out, and I just see all of them in a 360 like circular motion, seeing all the characters. That was something.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember the trailer. What got me excited was just seeing Thor, Hulk, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man in that one little scene in the woods together.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, like, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what's wrong with you. Even for people who don't love superhero movies, like, this is still just a great movie. I think all these movies are kind of like that for people.
Yeah, if you're not a big fan on the superhero stuff, if you just watch the movie as is,
Get Out.
No, yeah.
I'm kidding.
But for those who do, because this is where the $1 billion comes in, because there is a margin of people like that. This is a good, like Avengers. This is a good alien fighting movie. Yeah. Some movies are great heist movies. Some movies are a great love story. This is a great coming of age movie.
Great spy movie.
But
yeah, this was a great team movie, and honestly, I love it. But at number one. Yeah, Avengers was about bringing the team together. Civil War was about breaking the team apart.
And it did.
Captain America, Civil War, the third entry of the Captain America series.
This is what Avengers 2 should have been.
This is exactly what this was. This was a better Avengers movie than Avengers 2.
Yeah, this is exactly what. Like, if you would have told me they would have just cut out Captain America and just put Avengers Civil War, still would have been a great Avengers movie.
Because not only does this movie introduce you to new characters like Black Panther, like Spider-Man, you know, this movie also, like, if you've been following all these movies up until this point, you're just so much more invested in the story that's going on between the tension between Cap and Iron Man it was mind-boggling how they were able to pull it off.
And they made you choose sides too. You're either Team Cap or you Team Tony.
Yeah, you're either right or wrong. Which, if you're Team Cap, you're right, and you're Team Iron Man, you're wrong. But that's just me. Yeah,
because really, they're both right. They both have their different views. I mean, you could side with both, even if you're stuck in the middle.
That was actually the thing I loved about this movie was the fact that they never really say who's right, who's wrong.
No, they're both technically right. They both have their own views on it, and it's up to you to decide who do you side with, who do you agree with the most.
And as a viewer, like, the final fight, it's like, as a viewer, you're either rooting for one side or you're rooting for the other. Usually in a Marvel movie, you're rooting for the superhero and you're rooting against the villain. But now you got your two heroes are fighting each other. Two people who you've watched years and years of movies worth.
Correct.
Who you're super invested in, and you're just watching them duke it out in this freaking brawl that's, you know, painful and brutal to watch, but honestly, this movie kind of changed the MCU.
Correct. Yeah, it did. From now on, like, moving forward, you see it. The what's it called? The Sokovian Court.
Sokovian Accords.
Sokovian Accord. Yeah, you see that in different movies. You see that in TV shows. Even to the villain alone, you have a first time, like, not really first time, but basically you have a human with no technical abilities, no special abilities, no.
Even though in the end he somehow kind of outsmarts everybody, but
basically, like, you don't have, like, compared to everybody else in the MCU, this villain alone had one job, and he actually did the job.
Technically in the end, the villain wins in the end.
The villain wins. You had one job and you did it. You broke up the Avengers.
And honestly, going forward now until, like, I don't know how the team aspect is going to be in Infinity War.
No,
that excites me.
That will probably have to be the first time they re-team back up.
Yeah, but how they're going to do it, I don't know at this point, because I don't know what's going to go on now, because you got Cap and the Secret Avengers running around.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with Tony and everybody else.
And then you got Thor and his Revengers.
think I'm on Team Avengers right now.
Yeah, I like Team Avengers got the muscles on that one.
See, Team Avengers is the most powerful, especially if they have Valkyrie on that team too. Yeah.
Hulk.
And
Any team with Thor and Hulk together, you know you're gonna win.
And Jeff Goldblum. Okay, Jeff Goldblum's not a part of the team, but I kind of hope Jeff Goldblum's in Infinity War. I think he will be.
Maybe like a coach. You coach us. That'd be cool.
I can just have a scene of him just talking to the camera for like 5 minutes straight, and I'll be fine.
Well, have him talk to his brother.
The Collective.
Him and Batista talking to each other. Oh my God. Conversation alone where that would lead up to. I'm sorry, I don't know why we're talking about Thor Ragnarok. We should be talking about Civil Wars.
Well, guys, Civil War is number one. For us, it's the best of the MCU.
Of course, this is not set in stone. This is just our opinions.
This is ours. You guys might think that Thor 2 is the best.
Yeah, you guys may think Iron Man 3 could be the best. Who knows?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to judge you.
But let us know. What is your favorite?
Yeah,
give us your worst.
Give us your list, guys. We really want to know. And honestly, this list is just going to keep growing and growing with, we got Black Panther coming out, Infinity War coming out, Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we got so much more, MCU goodness coming, guys. So, thank you guys for joining us today on Super Dynamic Bros. I am Michael Sarabona.
I am Isaiah Amaro.
And remember, guys, have a marvelous day.
Excelsior.